Hi everyone, it's James with Monotalk. It is October the 21st, 2023, and the money laundering just continues. Just keeps going. You got to look up what money laundering is. It's when somebody takes money and it's illegal money and then they turn it into, finances for themselves basically. It's pretty much what we do, our government does, or at least a lot of politicians do with money they don't even have. It's interesting. I've always said, I wish I had a endless debt ceiling. Right? Wish every year I could just go, you know what? I need to raise my debt ceiling. So now we're at 33 trillion and they're still writing blank checks for their orchestrated wars. And I don't care if you think this is a religious war or whatever war or prophecy or who knows, but we instigate all this shit, right? Building 7, look it up. It's pretty simple. Um, Came down at 520 all by itself, almost a mile away from Building 1 with a supposed airplane that flew away and into the tower Building 1 in 9/11. I mean, there's just so much proof to show that that was an inside job, and oddly enough, the day before Donald Rumsfeld has a press conference, it says, we don't know where the $2.3 trillion has disappeared to. And interestingly, the area of where the Pentagon was hit and the buildings that were taken down had the paper trails of that money. Yeah. People are saying, well, how are they able to do all that? Well, they had crews going in for over a month or so, for few months. That's been documented. I mean, just go to rethink911.org. Just so much information on that. And ever since then, we've pretty much dished out, I would say roughly $6 billion, in appropriations or money or blank checks to the military industrial complex because of terrorism, right? And interesting, recently, freaking Biden he does a deal to get 5 spies or 9, a few spies from back for us assets that are being held prisoner or something, and then we exchange for them the same amount, but he threw in an extra $6.1 billion. And then not even a month later, where did Hamas get all this ammunition from? Where'd they get all this firepower from? Right? Where'd they get the money to fucking afford this shit? Yeah, this stuff we do all the time, and I'm not talking you and me, the 99.9% of the United States and the globe that really wants nothing to do with war. I mean, do you honestly believe there are people out there that want to keep killing each other and fighting? And of course not. These people, the Pedo Predator Class, aka World Economic Forum, and their associates, there's a few of them, and I brought this up, but I'll keep rehashing it in case you're new and you need to catch up. They've been doing this stuff for a long time. The military industrial complex has been the go-to source, and Palestine Israel has been a go-to for a long time. If all hell fails and there's no support out there for whatever we're creating and orchestrating or starting or getting our hands into and doing it on behalf of freedom and all that shit, Let me see if I can read that. Hey, Snarkada, don't forget when Oprah lost all her cash in the bank failure, Biden made a deal where she was not limited to just a 200,000K insurance. Wow. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? You know, these are donors. It's a it's a circle jerk. So if they keep sending money to these companies that in turn put the money in other places like Cayman Island accounts, South African accounts, Swiss bank accounts, just out there. And it somehow gets these super PACs that end up putting money into campaigns and getting people reelected. And there's lots of spiffs. It's called elbow grease. And these backroom deals that are made, these secret deals like McCarthy made with Biden in regards to sending money out to Ukraine again, more money to them. I mean, this is, if you're as old as I am, I'm 59, and I've seen this same process, the same system, the same tactics happen like clockwork every 2 years, every 3 years, every 4 years, every 2 years. It's just continuous. And the people that, or Republicans, there were 22. Ann Wagner, by the way, is a young globalist who went to the 2021 or 2020 Davos meeting. She's all in with Klaus Schwab. She's a Missouri. She's a plague here. She needs to go. She's already exposed her hand. I don't care what she says or what she says. I've done my research. Ann Wagner of Missouri needs to go. She's not who you think she is. There's a bunch of them out there. The only person I know for a fact in Missouri is Eric Schmidt, Senator Eric Schmidt. Josh Hawley, I'm a little worried about because he wanted to get rid of TikTok, the Restrict Act and all that crap. But she needs to go, and a lot of them need to go. The 22, because so what the 22 do, right? What the 22 do is, and there are the Republicans, pigs. They're like fat pigs with rhino horns that are strapped to their noses because they're not rhinos. A real rhino has power, right? But they abuse their power because when you have $100 billion waiting for Ukraine and Israel, 42, I think it's Israel and 60 to Ukraine being proposed by Biden. These fuckers are salivating. They want to get a piece of that. That's what these legislators are doing. That's why they vote in that. That's why they're so pissed off at Matt Gaetz. That's why they want to beat him up on the fucking in Congress. It's just right. It's just really sad. This guy, he wants term limits. He wants, something I think the Democrats have been talking about in the past. I'm pretty sure we talked about it on Monotalk in 2016, 17, 18, 19. Who knows? Single line bills, which means they have to work. You guys have no idea how much time these people take off. They work half the year. They might have to work an additional 20 days, maybe, to do this or that or the other thing. But that's just, back to the 22. They're pissed off that they have to actually, and read a bill, go over the bill, not stuff in pork and fat and bullshit, just to make it work. And some congressman, House representative or legislator or senator goes, well, we got that done, but you don't know that they also got the other side, their stuff too. As Tucker Carlson said, which is the reason why he was booted off of Fox. It wasn't, he was exposing the duopoly. He was telling everyone that there's a group of people, and it's so apparent and it's so obvious, and they reveal their hand all the time. Is they work together to get this money. How does Ocasio Cortez go from working in a bar, maybe making 50,000 a year, to now she's worth like $25 million? Probably more, and who knows how much she has stashed away, because a lot of these people do have money stashed all over the fucking place. It's all over the place. They have money everywhere, and it's really sad. And so he's for no more trading for congressional people, elected congressional legislators. No more trading for these people. Single line, one bill at a time, up and down vote, term limits, and something else. I think that's great. If your congressman isn't for these three things, or that's almost like completely getting rid of it. It's Citizens United, and I bring this up fucking constantly. If you watch my show, you'll hear me about Citizens United. But that's one of the most heinous things that happened, and that was when Obama was in office, right? When the Supreme Court said, "Oh, it's Citizens United. Corporations are people," and all this other crap, and now they've got money coming in from all over the fucking place. That was the start of hell for the United States. If he wants to jump in and throw that in there and fuck Citizens United, then he would be the guy. Yeah, these people are just very angry that Matt Gaetz and some actual legislators that represent the U.S. 99.9%, the working man, the working poor man, the middle class, or just people in the United States. These legislators that are mad at Matt Gaetz for wanting more accountability and a better budget, so that we don't continually raise the debt ceiling every fucking year like crazy, and just keep throwing money out there for whatever cause that we create. And he knows it. He knows it. They won't say it, but they know it. I kind of like puff these things. I don't really inhale anymore, it seems. But and they're pissed off at him because he wants accountability. He wants, which it appears, and there's always one guy that goes against the fray, right? Which they throw out there, but it seems that he's a little genuine on this, or mostly genuine. But they don't want to do their work. They want to keep it the way it is. Let us make our money. Let us get elected to get rich. Tulsi Gabbard knows this. Okay, anybody that's been, and she's brought that up on Joe Rogan. That's all this is about. These people that are mad at Matt Gaetz are mad because he's taking away their money, because the $174,000 that they make is just not enough per year. I've always said I don't understand the big capital thing and the big extreme columns, of which I think are cool, castle-like facilities for these people. They should be working in DMV offices, so you can walk up and talk to them. And what are you talking about there? Well, there's a pothole. Well, there's a bridge that's going down. It keeps shaking. It's getting worse. These are public servants, right? These are people that work because we pay taxes. They're supposed to listen, but they don't listen to us. And I brought this up at represent.us. They did a study back in 2014, 2015, something like that. Most of the bills that are passed, I think it was 72%, do not benefit your average working man. They benefit large corporations, lobbyists, special interest groups. Special interest groups are just NGOs. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, World Health Organization. You know, this they send money out to these people that they're going to help save the country, but it's just money laundering to their future donors and future Cayman Island accounts and future, you know, Swiss bank accounts. That's all it is. I don't know what else to tell you. It's, you know, everybody's pissed off at Hamas and people are pissed off at Palestine and people are pissed off at Israel and all this, but it's not. Those are orchestrated. I don't, you know, we've seen it a bunch. Like I said, 9/11 is one of the greatest examples of an inside job, and we've been doing this for a long time. People, it's hard for people to fucking to wrap their heads around that. You know, oh, but they mad and they Palestine. You know, I know all about Palestine. Is 26 miles long, a little over fucking like a, you know, marathon. It's not very wide. It's like in the middle of fucking Israel when supposedly Palestine was in like 1948, around that time. They were fucking, it was just Palestine. And all of a sudden Israel comes in, you know, and there's just have taken over. But besides that, it's been a great go-to money laundering um, outlet, you know, avenue, funnel to for this money. You know, look up the movie Syriana. Okay, it was with George Clooney. It was a good movie. George Clooney's and he's bought. A lot of these actors are all bought and paid for it, but that movie clearly showed how the CIA and certain individuals were using religious ideology, right, theisms, etc., to get people to off themselves and to go in certain directions, you know, and they would have operatives. You just got to watch it. It's they used these people like they were puppets, and they used this religions and these prophecies that are, you know, created through these religions to manipulate people. And they do it. They still do it to this day. They're very good at this stuff. Very good at this stuff. It's amazing, you know. And we're creating terrorists. We create the terrorists. The corporations create the terrorists. Yeah, this is tough. This is tough. You know, we like here's another good example. Look up Charlie Wilson's War with Tom Hanks. Right? We he was looking for Charlie Wilson was a congressman looking to get reelected. He had bad publicity at the time. Just go watch the movie Syriana and Charlie Wilson's War. And he freaking um, needed some. He had negative publicity. He was a womanizer and all this other shit. But so what happened is, so Charlie Wilson he just needed to get reelected. And he needed a way, so they went and found him a way. So what was happening is Afghanistan or somewhere that Middle Eastern fighters, you know, were having a problem with Russia, and they needed some surface-to-air missiles. And he raised this big campaign to help them to fight against Russia. And he got his money, and everybody liked him, and he was a hero. But what happened, and this is the controversial part, and go look it up on Wikipedia, is as soon as he was done and he got reelected, he forgot about these people. Just forgot about them. This happens a lot. This isn't the first time. This is what's going to happen to fucking Zelensky here pretty soon. Watch. And they forgot. They said, you know, we don't need you in the, you know, they're like, we're done. Fuck you. We got him. I got reelected. Charlie Lewis says, I got reelected. I don't need to fuck with you people anymore. And they got slaughtered. And you know who's leading that group? You know who was leading that group that got really pissed off? It was Bin Laden. Osama bin Laden. We create enemies constantly. We have people coming in the border. It's bad. I've kind of, I haven't really had any friction with Craig Pasta, Jordula. Great, wonderful man. But he's a little, I don't know if he's off, but he's just not getting the threat, right? Because we've made so many friends, we need to protect our border. Right? Because we've made so many friends over the past few decades. Yeah, we definitely need to protect ourselves. Now we have a record of the amount of people that are coming in that we can't even track or know of. People don't think it's a threat at all. But usually, on average, we have 600 to 800 per year for the past, I don't know, a few decades coming in, illegal aliens. A lot of them I know work in the fields that you fucking will never be able to work in. It's fucking hard work. They don't get paid that much, and the farmers take advantage of it. People that pick the fruit, pick the vegetables, are in the fields working 8, 10, 12 hours a day. Good luck trying to do that shit. Right? So I'm okay with that. I don't have a fucking problem. But when they start coming in and really taking over, those jobs fill up quick, and they're already pretty much accounted for. But then they start now they're okay to use. If you're an illegal alien, you can become a police officer in some of these blue states. You can work for the government, and you were never born. So all the people that have been and looking for work that are in the streets now are fucked. They don't get anything. The problem is that's a problem, right? That's not a huge issue, but that's a problem. The biggest problem is again the people that are pissed off, and the people that they've already caught at the border, the ones that are published and known. We don't know how many. It's like 10, 15% are totally unaccounted for. I would say more than that. And we're talking at least 7 million people in the past 2.5, 3 years now. That's hundreds of thousands of people. We've seen Chinese nationals. A lot of these people are military grade type people, ages from like 18 to fucking 34, great shape, dressed well. It's like, it's funny because when they usually come over the border, they're not much, like a backpack and dirty clothes. But these people look good. These people look fucking good. So my point is, and I'm going to leave with this: it's a money laundering scam. We've got to keep our borders tight. This whole thing is just a fucking big scam. Aloha. Take care, guys. Stop fucking voting for these assholes.